guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another wear test on foundations, and I'm super excited about this one because you guys have been asking me to do a drugstore foundation for a while now, and I saw a comment on my last video saying to compare the Maybelline Fit Me's, the dewy one, and then the matte and poreless one, and I thought that was such a cool idea, so I really wanted to do that. I have never actually tried the dewy and smooth one, so I just picked it up last night, but you guys probably already know this, but I do love the matte and poreless one of this foundation. If you guys are new here, I do have very oily skin. I have acne prone skin, a little bit of rosacea, and sensitive skin. So we are going to be putting these two foundations to the test. Even though I already do know that I love this one, I really want to see how it compares to the dewy side. So if you guys are interested in seeing the differences between these two foundations and how they hold up after about 8 to 10 hours, then just keep on watching. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is put the dewy and smooth foundation on one side of my face and then the matte and poreless on the other side. And then I'm going to be doing an 8 to 10 hour wear test to see which one holds up better. So I got the shade 210 Sandy Beige in the dewy and smooth one. And I have like a million shades of the matte and poreless one, but of course I don't have that one shade. So I'm just going to be mixing my darkest one with the lightest one, which is 122 and 228. So we're just going to have to kind of mix it together until it matches this one. These foundations aren't new, but I'm still going to give you a little rundown. So the matte and poreless one, this one is $5.99 at Target. That's where I get mine. This foundation is a medium coverage foundation, and it's supposed to be good for normal combination to oily skin. And it also is good for people with larger pores, and it just helps to keep your shine under control. And then the dewy and smooth one is also $5.99 at Target. This one is supposed to be for normal to dry, and I believe this one was medium coverage as well. And it also has an SPF of 18. And I'm also not going to be using a primer today, which I never do. I always use the Kane & Austin Primer Protect Mattifying Primer. This is my favorite primer. It's really good for oily skins, keeps my oils at bay, and it also mattifies my skin and kind of like fills in all of my pores. But I'm not going to be using a primer today because I want to see how these foundations work on their own. I'm going to stop talking now and start with the dewy side on the right side of my face. And again, the shade I got is 210 Sandy Beige. Blend this in with a damp sponge. So this one spreads really nicely and blends out really easily. It's pretty liquidy, so I think that has something to do with it, but it is blending out really, really easily. Definitely has a more medium coverage, but I really like the finish. I love the way dewy foundations look on my skin. Even though I am so oily, I rarely can wear dewy foundations just because it just doesn't really work for my skin. But there is a few dewy foundations that actually do work on my skin, like the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation. That one actually does work. And since they are so hydrating, I love the finish that it gives my skin. I feel like it just makes your skin look really healthy and glowy. Okay, so this is just with one layer. I used like half of this drop, but I kind of put a lot on the back of my candle holder. It definitely evened out my skin tone, but it didn't cover up any of my acne down here. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more and just try and build this up anywhere that I think I need a little bit more coverage. Okay, so that's about where I'm going to stop. I can still see my pimple, but I don't want to add any more foundation, so I'm just going to keep it there. I'll just put a little bit of concealer over it to spot conceal that later, so that's not really an issue for me, but I really like the way that it looks on my skin. I feel like it looks very healthy. The color matches really good to my body, but yeah, I really, really like the finish that this has. I feel like it just looks really pretty. It's not caking up anywhere. It's not caking up in the sides of my nose, my chin, or my smile lines. So I'm going to go wash my beauty blender and then go in with the matte one. Okay, so I just mixed together the two shades for the matte one, and again I have the shades 228 and 210. So I actually mixed them just about evenly, so I did like half and half of each, and it's just about the same color, so hopefully this works. Okay, so the coverage is about the same. It does look a little bit more matte than the other side, especially on my forehead. You can tell this side is definitely a little bit more dewy. Okay, so this is what it looks like up close. I actually think my skin looks really good right now. The foundation is not creasing anywhere on my face. Usually foundations will start to crease in my smile lines a lot, and that's not happening at all on either side. I think both sides look really good, but I do have to say I think I like the matte side a little bit more. I just feel like my pores look a little bit more blurred out. But then on the other side, I feel like my skin does look really healthy. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn, but when you look at my forehead, you can definitely see which side is the matte side and which side is the glowy side. And I think I do like the matte side on my forehead the best. The glowy side for my forehead just looks a little bit more like textured. This foundation usually doesn't crease in my lines or anything, so I wasn't expecting that with the matte side, but I wasn't sure how the dewy side was gonna work, but it's definitely not creasing at all. It's not kicking up in the sides of my nose, it's not creasing in my chin. And yeah, I think it just looks really good. So I'm gonna finish up my makeup and then I will be right back. Okay, so I just finished up the rest of my makeup and this is what my skin is looking like. I actually love both sides. I think they look really nice. You guys already know that I love my matte and poreless one. I feel like I talk about it all the time. So you guys already know that I love that one, but I'm really enjoying the dewy side as well. Not so much my forehead. I do like the matte side of my forehead better than the dewy side, but I do like the way that my cheek area is looking on the dewy side. As you can see, it's not creasing in my smile lines at all or my chin. It's not caking up on the sides of my nose. It looks really, really nice all over. I think my cheeks look really nice too. This is a foundation that definitely does not enhance my texture, which is awesome. The matte side I think looks a little bit more airbrushed, but I do like how healthy looking the dewy side is looking. So the real test is gonna be to see which one lasts the longest. So right now it is 4:31 p.m. I'm gonna try to do like 8 to 10 hours. So I will be checking in with you guys in between and seeing how everything is holding up and just showing you guys what it looks like. I also only put a tiny bit of concealer right underneath my eyes, so I didn't put concealer anywhere else, so we will be able to see how this foundation works by itself without concealer on top of it. And I also used the same setting powder on both sides, the same setting powder that I always use, so I will have that all listed down below in the description box, all the makeup that I'm wearing. So I'm gonna go run some errands and I will check back with you guys in a few hours. Okay, so I did also want to show you guys what the foundation's looking like in natural daylight. So I'm just standing in my kitchen, just so you can kind of see better in the natural daylight. Now there is a filter on my camera, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in so that filter goes away so you can actually see what the foundation looks like. So it hasn't even been an hour yet, it's been about 45 minutes, but still looks just about exactly the same and I still love it. So I'm gonna wait a few hours, probably like 4 or 5 hours before I check in again. So I will see you guys later. What you doing, pig? Wanna go inside? Wanna go too? Oh, you're so cute. Hi. Hey guys, so I'm back home now and it is 8:54 p.m. So it's been like 5 hours and right now my skin is looking great. I am starting to get a little bit shiny on the dewy side, but surprisingly the matte side is still like super matte. I don't really have any shine over there actually. I have like chocolate on my nose right here. I don't know how that got there, but that's weird. And also in the side of my nose on the dewy side, it is starting to get oily and start caking up a little bit. That usually happens when my skin gets oily. It starts to cake up the foundation. It's creasing a little bit in my chin and a tiny bit in my smile lines, but nothing crazy. So far I actually think it's still looking really good, especially the matte side. The dewy side is definitely getting a little bit shiny, but I have seen way worse with my skin. So it actually is holding up pretty well so far. So I will be back at about the 8 or 10 hour mark to show you guys how my skin is looking. So I will see you guys then. Okay guys, so it is now 12:53 a.m. So it's been about 9 hours. This side is hardly oily at all. This side is pretty oily, but honestly, like I've seen way worse. I definitely am shiny, but the makeup is not caking up at all. So you know what that means? We can blot with paper or powder. I love it when foundations don't separate. That is like my biggest pet peeve. So that is what I'm going to be doing, it just in case you are someone that likes to touch up throughout the day. So if you did like the way that this dewy foundation looks on your skin, but you do get oily with it, since it isn't separating, you are going to be able to blot it and it should go back to normal. So I'm going to zoom you guys in before I blot it. So I'm definitely pretty oily on the right side of my face, but you guys can see that it's not separating. It is starting to come off off a little bit on the right side of my nose, and that's just where I like rub my nose. And also it creased in my chin, but it did not crease at all in my smile lines, which I'm super, super impressed with. On both sides, I got absolutely no creasing in my smile lines. I think my forehead is the oiliest out of everything on my face, so you can definitely see where the matte foundation ends. I think it's actually kind of interesting to see. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and blot now, and to blot, I always use the Fenty Beauty blotting powder. So what I'm gonna do is just take my brush. This is a Morphe E3 brush, and I'm literally just gonna really lightly just tap over anywhere that I'm oily, and it will just absorb all that oil right away. I love this blotting powder. Okay, so that worked really good. I don't see any oil on my face anymore. So my skin looks super soft again. My pores are all blurred out. There's no oil on my face, and I think it looks awesome. So basically, I am super, super impressed with this dewy foundation. I already have used and loved the Matte Poreless. So I already knew the matte side was gonna work like this, but I'm actually blown away at how well the dewy foundation works. Now, I did get very oily. You guys obviously could see that, but the foundation did not separate at all, which I'm super, super impressed with. I love when foundations don't separate because that means that I can blot and fix them. If they separate, it's a 100% no-go for me. I cannot use a foundation that separates. It just doesn't work for me, and this one didn't separate at all. I probably will only be wearing the dewy one again for like shorter periods of time. So if I wore this for like 5 to 6 hours, I wouldn't have to touch up at all. But if I am going to be wearing this for a long time, I would have to bring blotting powder, which I don't always like to do. But then again, if you're a person that doesn't like to touch up throughout the day, then this probably won't work for you. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. This was a super fun video for me to do. I want to test out more like matte and dewy foundations together because I thought this was really interesting. Just like seeing how the foundations wore throughout the day together. It was just really cool to do. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.